everybody. Welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. Not sure if today's show going to be funny or not. I'm pretty sure we might get into a debate. Maybe we might not. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how people feel about things. But let's get ready to get the show underway. Let's get ready to get things started. First up, let me bring my man Talent and T. What's going on, man? Popping.
That's how you start a fight. You just started a fight right there. I don't know. He might smack the hell out of him. I don't know. I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I've had better days, man. You know, I've had better days. You know I'm upset. You know I'm boiling.
You're going through it, bro. You're going through it.
I'm boiling. My man Fig is also in the building. What's up, Fig? How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, TGIF, baby, because we need the weekend for you to cool off.
Yeah, might have to. You know, and you all know how passionate I am as a Celtics fan, too. So you already understand what's going on. My man Mike Sean is also in the building. Mike Sean, what's happening? What's cracking?
I'm gonna let you know, me and Talon and Fig already had a conversation, so it's gonna be funny. And Frank, stop acting like you on a damn Celtic payroll. Like they not cutting you a check.
I almost swore at you, but I'm not gonna swear at you. I don't give a damn what y'all think. I don't care. Like, I'm as passionate as a Celtics fan as you are about Knicks fan. And at the end of the day, none of us here getting cut a check, but we all passionate about our sports.
Hey, Frank said, I'm mad as hell, and I ain't gonna take it no more.
No, I ain't taking a lot of things, but I ain't gonna sit down and just let.
I'm a passionate Giant fan, but when Lawrence Taylor went to rehab, I ain't give a damn. I was like, all right, well, that's what it is.
Okay. I don't like this walking over of a black man. I don't like this whole thing in the situation. But because it's a hot topic, because a lot of things jumped off, first, I want to start out the show like we did yesterday, talking about Ime Udoka. Yesterday, we suspected that he might get suspended for a year. The news officially came out that he did get suspended for a year. And when he gets suspended for a year, a lot of other repercussions came in that. Let me throw Roddy Perry in this. I knew Roddy was going to show in there today, too. Roddy, what's up? I knew he
got the hat on. I see you, Uncle Rodney.
I see that T, he definitely got suspended for a year. A lot of stuff to talk about. I'm gonna say my piece after you all say your piece. T, I'm gonna let you go first. The suspension came out. I don't know if you saw the press conference. I saw the press conference. That's our first take. I saw a couple of things. Tell me what your thoughts are first. All this.
Well, I mean, it's like I said yesterday, man. This whole thing is ridiculous. And like Stephen alluded to as well, he's not the only one. But unfortunately, I knew it was something around my theory where you piss certain people off, and that's where you draw the line. That's
your computer don't sound right. See, your mic don't sound right.
That's where it sounds. Hold on, check.
Now we can hear you. Just sound funny.
It don't sound like it.
Well, might be me. I just finished having sex. Anyway, so. Like I said before, I just think it's whack, yo. I just think that he's being made an example of. And they look like there's powers that's doing it, and there's powers that don't like that it's going down, but it has to go down because of today's society.
Interesting. Fig, tell me what your take is, what you think about this as you hear it.
Yeah, man, the way Brad Stevens was crying, you would think it was his wife. I was like, it's like you found out your wife cheated with the Celtics coach. Ime has a huge Udoka.
How you know it's not his wife?
Hey, listen, I don't, man, but it's like I don't know, man. You know what's sad, and Mike is going to tell you a bunch of stuff because Mike do some stuff that. I couldn't even come up. He should be a writer on a TV show. The stuff that Mike came up with.
I wish.
The press conference said absolutely nothing, as far as I'm concerned. For what they actually said, they might as well had said absolutely nothing at all. And I'm in agreements with Stephen A. Smith. It's like, yo, why don't you just fire the dude? Because what you said, we're going to suspend him for a year, and then after a year, we're going to reevaluate to see if we want to keep him on the team. At that point, it's like, yo, just fire me and let me go about my way. Or if I was Ime, I would probably, with that kind of decision, I'd probably quit.
Mike Sean, what's your take on what you think?
What was Ime's statement? He said he would like to thank the Boston Celtics for handling this. Number one, they apologized to the woman like 13 times in that interview, which means they're scared to death of a lawsuit because he was running through these chicks, which was irresponsible. Now, I'm not, listen, I've run them through too, but I'm not going to sit here and defend the person who does something as stupid as smashing somebody on his staff when you're the Boston Celtic head coach. You're not the Sacramento King head coach. You're the Boston Celtic head coach. And in that press conference, I think they're pissed. When you bring a law firm in to actually start investigating, that means you worried about a real big lawsuit that you have now put this team in jeopardy, even though I don't care about the Celtics. They brought a law firm to investigate because, in my opinion, they warned him before. And these women are coming out the woodworks because, yes, he probably did smash some women that was consensual, but then he probably made inappropriate attempts at certain women that weren't down for the get down. So if you in Boston, let me repeat this. If you're a black man in Boston and you want to act like you're still an NBA player and not the leader of the team, and this stuff happens, if he ain't mad, I ain't mad. And you know why he not mad? I'll tell you why he not mad and why he not saying nothing. Because he don't want the whole story to come out. Being a true liar that I've been with women, let me tell you something. There's a certain point where a woman says, we're just going to break up because you don't want the exposure. You don't want them to go on social media. He don't want the real story to come out. He don't want his actions to come out. All you NBA players, it's not 1997. It is 2022. And you got to have more responsibility. You got to have a sense of yourself. But you walking through the office like you Rick Fox smashing these chicks, and it's not 2022. That's his fault. He put himself in this situation. And that's why he doesn't want any. He's like, cool, I'm good. I'm a chill. Thank you very much. And this is from a person who's been in those situations where I'm like, cool, you want to break up? Cool. Let's just keep what happened between us to ourselves. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm not going to sit here. That whole Stephen A. Smith, you're going to sit here, Stephen A. Smith, and destroy Kyrie Irving for standing up for principles. But now you want to defend the dude that was smashing chicks in the office.
He wasn't defending him at all. That's the last thing.
No, this whole thing. Oh, just fire him because he's unhireable. He made himself unhireable.
No, right, you just said he was defending him. That was the last thing. He wasn't defending him.
No, he was when he said. Well, let me finish, Fig. You had your turn. Let me finish. When he said, "Oh, just fire him because now you've made him unhireable and you guys have made allegations." The allegations that he doesn't want is the truth. What he doesn't want is the truth to come out. What he doesn't want is the whole story to come out. I'm done.
Let Rodney Perry say his piece. Rodney, what's your take?
All right, guys, here goes. When I served in the United States Navy, I actually used to deliver the sexual harassment briefing. And the word and the verbiage is very clear. You know, how you treat women, how you treat coworkers, how you go about doing business day to day. And I'm sure the Celtic organization has something very clear on this. And now let's look at history. From the massacre at in 1918 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to Wilmington, North Carolina, it's always a problem when a black man starts smashing white women.
Thank you.
We have to look at this, and just when you think you're beyond that, the white man will tell you that, you know, they'll serve you their women, but they'll also use their women to demonize you.
Get them.
There are rules for blacks. It's unacceptable, but it's true. I'm not going to go as far as Mike Sean and demonize Mr. Udoka. I think he made a mistake. I think he may even have been in love with ex-woman, right? and you know, with more and more women in the workplace, we're looking at even more of these cases going to be coming out. I believe, you know. So I'm sad for him, but at the same time, you knew the rules, bro. You know, and sometimes there are those of us that feel like we're beyond the rules, and they show us time and time again that not only are we not beyond the rules, that they don't even apply to us at all.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna say my piece, and then if you all want to continue talking about it, we can. I'm gonna say this.
Dugar wants the link. He wants to chime in.
Send him the link. This is what I want to say. I want to say that one, Ime Udoka was dead wrong. He was 100% dead wrong for doing what he did. I'm not going to defend him either. I think a lot of people didn't want to defend him. I don't want to defend him. It's not about defending him if you ask me. That's number one. But the thing that really bothers me is that the way the Celtics are handling this. I've been saying this on social media. I've been saying this for a minute and everything else. I don't like the way the Celtics handle this because what they should have done is they should have said, you know, Ime Udoka is going to take time off for a year, 6 months to a year, or whatever, and want to handle this internally. But to make him the scapegoat of this is what really bothers me, especially when you have two consensual adults. Like, I have a problem with that. But one of the other big issues I have is that other NBA people in NBA circles are doing it. It's been proven right now, the other NBA teams are having consensual relationships right now. The league is not stepping in. There's a lot of things that, you know.
That don't make it less illegal because everybody's doing it.
I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the way the Celtics are handling this is what I'm not liking. I think right now, Ime Udoka is, whether he agrees or disagrees or whatever the statement he put out right now, he is being so wrongly, you know, dealt with right now because he can't leave. He's under contract with the Celtics. He can't get another contract with another team. He's got a financial penalty, which means he's getting, you know, some kind of sacrifice. He might be getting 50%. He might be getting 80% of his check taken out, whatever. He can't do anything until June 30th right now. So the Celtics are saying, yeah, we got him, but nobody else can touch him either. It's like a whole lot. And then on top of that, there's one other thing too. My wife brought up a certain situation. Matter of fact, she wants to jump in the show too. She wants to have her say. So
I would love to hear her take.
Well, there you go. Here comes her take. In. The boss is in the building. The boss, what's up, boss?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's very nice.
Hold up, before you say anything, I want to tell you that your background is amazing. And I don't know where Frank is. I think he's in another country.
Frank, he in another house.
But you need to let Frank use your background.
and before you say something, I think Frank is broadcasting next to Brittany Griner. Like, honestly.
You're wrong for that.
But please speak. Go ahead. Do your thing.
I have to say that I think this whole thing is very interesting to me because, one, I feel like he's being accused properly. I think that he should take account for his actions. However, I think it's so interesting that it's so extreme when they've had so many things going on with other players and they have not handled it this way. And one may not have anything to do with the other, but I'm curious how you can handle this way, but Brett Favre, you're handling that a totally different way. So that to me is the issue that I have. But not only that, as a woman, I can say this. I'm just curious why they are putting him out there and not saying anything about the females, because what happens is you leave the other females who are not responsible exposed. Like they're out there and people are saying, oh, it's her. Oh, no, it's her. Well, if you were to come out and just say who it was and let them be held accountable just like he's being held accountable, then I think it's fair. The one thing that's interesting to me, I don't particularly care for Stephen A, but he was right today. He was right, and I appreciate the fact the stance that he took. And to Mike Sean's point, he didn't defend him. He said several times he should have been fired. He said that he should be held accountable, but the way they're handling the whole situation is unfair.
I think.
Let me say something real quick. Because we've been dancing around and coming up with all these gazillion
Don't say it.
scenarios and everything. We're missing the biggest point here.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
The biggest point here is what nobody's talking about is for this to happen because they put up the pictures of the girl who works with.
Here we go.
The biggest thing we missing, Rodney, Nia Long's coochie is trash.
Where you get that? Oh my God.
We all spend our whole life. If you're a black man, Nia Long's at your top 10 of crushes that you want to be with. Now, this man has Nia. And if Mike Sean's theory is correct, and you tramping around this office and doing this, not only a great disservice to whatever the company rules are, but what you do outside the house says a lot about what's in the house. I don't know about you.
You did not just say that.
Yeah, he did. I tried not to get him to say it.
Miss Bernadette, it's time for you to click off because this is kind of
I cannot. That is crazy. That is crazy.
First of all, talent.
I try to say
and I can't confirm nor deny, but I'm just gonna go on record
and say what?
And say Nia Long is fantastic.
So you're going on record?
I'm just saying, I've been in Hollywood a couple years, and
we just
hold on.
You know, I got one more thing to say before I get up out of here.
Go ahead, Miss Bob.
I think too.
Hold on, let me get my lip gloss.
You stupid.
to talent, I think it's so crazy. I've seen so many. Just before I got on here, I was going back and forth with somebody online, and they were talking about Nia Long, and she must be difficult, and she must be A, B, and C. How in the world does she come into the equation? This has absolutely nothing to do with her.
No, we know that. This is not a serious statement. First of all, you don't know you're on box. Right?
I will say this.
You're supposed to be the boss. You're supposed to know the kind of show you got. We joking around. This has absolutely nothing to do with Nia Long. The human is she's a sex to us males our whole life and her whole career, and for this guy to cheat on is blasphemy. That's the whole point of the joke.
First of all,
but no, it has nothing to do with it. We just
nobody's immune to getting cheated on.
Beyonce got cheated on by Jay-Z. Jay-Z might be top 5 rapper, best rapper, and ugliest rapper at the same time.
That's different.
Let's not do that.
That's different.
Hold on.
Jay-Z is stunningly handsome up close.
Yeah, okay, all right. I stood up close. Yeah, but first of all, I wasn't checking for him like that. But let me just say this. Everybody acting like he's the scapegoat. Okay, if you mad and you didn't do nothing wrong,
right,
and you really didn't do nothing wrong,
right,
then stand up and say, I didn't do anything wrong. But he doesn't want to say that because there's always...
Mike Sean, this is why you can't say this, Mike Sean.
Let me finish.
I'm going to tell you why you can't say this.
Hold on, let me finish. Hold on.
First of all, Mike Sean's hair is wonderful. Okay?
I hate you.
You can't say this.
I hate
you. Can't say this. You can't throw another man under the bus, Mike Sean. You can't do it.
First of all, I ain't even get a haircut yet. Wait till I moisturize. It's gonna be crazy when I moisturize.
Now you sound like Finn. Wait till I moisturize.
Wait till but this is what I'm saying. If you're not gonna stand up and saying what's being done to me is wrong,
right,
then you're not gonna get me to stand up for you. Because there's a story within the story that he don't want that story to come out. And I promise you, there's somebody else included in this because it wasn't one violation. Yeah. They got him on multiple violations.
No. Who said that?
Dog, did you not watch the press conference?
Can I address that? Can I address that? When you finish, Mike, I'm going to address that.
No, they got him on number one. They got him on multiple violations. Number two,
just because it's multiple things don't mean it was multiple people. He might have just went in one woman multiple times.
Okay. You're ridiculous. I love y'all. I love y'all. I hate y'all at the same time. I love y'all. I hate y'all at the same. But the problem I have with this, with Stephen A. Smith doing all this rhetoric, well, just fire him, just do this. He is going along with it because he knows if the story comes out, it's going to be a problem. And everybody, yes, Stephen A. Smith's like, now he's unhireable. You know when he's really going to be unhireable? Even to a college team, if the real story comes out. That's when he's really going to be unhireable.
Can I say something?
Again? All right, I'll wait my turn.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, Fig, you go ahead. I was just going to say, certain juices, if you get on your mustache, it's hard for it to come out.
What?
It is. No, but those are facts. Those are facts. Those are facts. Those are facts.
Here's where the multiple things came in. If you were paying really close attention, what he said was that there were several women that were talked about on social media because people were speculating that this particular woman could be the one or that particular woman could be one. And then they put up a photograph of a woman, and she was not the woman that was involved with Ime Udoka. And that's what he was talking about when he said multiple women in the office have been affected because because they did not mention her name and they didn't say who she was. Multiple people, now people are left to guess as to who the other person is. That's where the multiple women came in. Now back to Stephen A. What Stephen A. actually said is that he knows for a fact that there are other people who have done things the exact same way. And the only problem that he had was that they put this guy's business out in the street when other stuff had been handled behind closed doors. They could have gave Ime Udoka the exact same punishment, and they didn't have to mention his name. They didn't have to mention why. And Stephen A. said he knows for a fact there are multiple teams in multiple sports where there have been this type of situation, and these guys' personal business wasn't put out there on the street. What has happened to Ime Udoka is a public lynching. That's exactly.
Here we go with the public lynching.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you why.
I didn't interrupt anybody. I didn't interrupt you.
Hold on. I'm interrupting you, Fig, because I want to say something.
But I didn't interrupt you.
I'm agreeing with you. Wait a second. 1 second. I feel sexual harassed because Fig has no sleeves.
and let me tell you, Clarence Thomas was the other person who said that's hilarious. It's a public lynching. But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the Boston Celtics didn't mention the women's names, because it's going to be a $200 or $300 million lawsuit.
Can you put on a sweater?
Frank, clearly, Mike is moonlighting because he clearly works with Dionne Warwick and Miss Cleo because he's psychic. He knows things that there's never been. It wasn't. None of this stuff was mentioned in the press conference.
Okay, let me tell you what was mentioned. What was mentioned is that the owner had to read off of notes because a law firm told him not to say certain things. And when a law firm,
you have anything else you want to say before you leave? Because I know how your time is, and we're going to jump back.
Ms. Bernadette, are you okay?
You made the show so much better just by your appearance.
No, Frank, she has to stay there and suffer.
Thank you.
And suffer with the rest of us. You have a great point though about
Ms. Bernadette Holder.
I've had enough suffering, talent. I've had enough suffering. I'm good.
I like you said that.
I think I heard a point of
Ms. Bernadette. Last question. How do you feel about Fig's attire today?
I plead the fifth on that. I'm not gonna say anything.
Fig feeling sexy because he keep giving us that profile shot.
He keep putting that arm up.
Yeah, put that little arm. He went all that.
Y'all know I'm on that brown liquor. Y'all be careful. I'm on that brown liquor today.
Look,
I appreciate you guys letting me sit in for have a
thank you,
thank you, Vern.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
All right, let me.
Ms. Bernadette killed him with a lip gloss.
and Frank, I know you hate when we do this, but this is what I'm gonna tell you. The Phoenix Suns owner is just losing his team. The Dallas Mavericks had to bring a black woman to clean up their front office because there was a weirdo in there doing exactly what the head coach of the Celtics did. The reason why the Celtics wait. These are facts. These are facts.
So, Mike, can we let Miss Burnett leave, and we're gonna let you come back and say thank you, Miss Burnett.
Thank you, Miss Bernadette. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Bernadette. I apologize.
We're gonna do the last round on this. Thank you, Bern. Thank you, honey.
We just do the whole show on this.
We could. T.
Bernadette don't have no high standards. I know that.
And I don't like the fact that Rodney looking up at us like he flirting with us. Like I don't like what type of GQ magazine look is that?
Trying to drag and drop. All right,
I feel offended by Rodney's lighting. His lighting is different today.
All right. Hold on. Let's get back to where we are. P, I want to throw this out to you and ask you this: do you think it's fair for what's going on? Because Gilbert Arenas got 50 games for bringing a gun to the locker room. Charles Sprewell got 68 games for choking out his head coach. But the head coach of the Celtics ended up getting a year for a consensual relationship. Tell me what your thoughts are on now that you know everything of what it is. What's your thoughts on what's going on? My man joining the show. Daniel Dugas joining the show too. So go ahead, answer that to you.
Well, we know it's not gonna. Don't look for it to make sense. Right? Don't look for it to make sense for it because the gun is the scariest thing out of all three you just said. Choking got me. Choking was a bigger secret than the gun. So I don't look for this to make any sense. This just goes to show you, maybe I hold my to a lesser standard than my coach.
All right, T, you have to go and come back in because you're echoing. But I'm gonna let you go and come back in.
That's not me though.
That's Daniel, because you know Daniel's DJ Echo. Once he comes in.
Go ahead, T, keep talking. Go ahead, T. Say
that's not me. I was saying, clearly the league looks and holds them to different levels and standards. They may hold a player at a different level and standard than they do a coach. I guess you're going up the echelon. So if the higher you go up that totem pole, the more accountable I'll hold you. So you might get 50 games you play in the game, but you might get a whole year or a season, which is 82, if you're a coach, because you're held to a higher standard.
Before we jump to the other story, Fig, I'm coming to you right now, Fig. I'm coming to you right now. The question to you is, Fig, do you think it's fair to what's being handled right now with this Ime Udoka situation? Do you think it's fair?
No, I agree with what was being said. I think it should have been handled behind closed doors. Like if you seriously can't speak to this and you can't give any details, then why not just punish the man behind? Why bring it out into the open? Like it makes absolutely no sense at all. They could have did this in so many different ways where you didn't have to put his personal business out on Front Street. And if coaches are held to a higher standard, then we had Phil Jackson, who's had a long-going relationship with an owner of the Los Angeles Lakers for so many years. I can't even remember how long it is. It just can't be the exact same thing. I really believe that they took this man out, put him on Front Street, and to me, I know we don't like the word, but to me, this is the equivalent of a public lynching. And the reason for a public lynching was to make it so horrific that nobody else would do it again. It would instill so much fear into everybody else that this would never happen again. And I think they're making an example out of Ime Udoka by putting his personal business out there. You could have suspended the man for a year and never said a word as to why.
Phil Jackson was in a relationship with another woman. I think he was even married before he got involved with Jeannie Buss. So I like that example. Mike Sean, you get your last word on for this part. You know, what else did you want to add?
Everything that you're saying, all the events that you said. What year was it? What year was it? All the events that we're saying, it wasn't 2022. It's not the same anymore. You just can't run through people like that anymore. You just can't do what you want anymore in 2022. It's a different environment, and I warn all young comedians, life is different now. So be very careful. And I don't know, and I'm not going to feel sorry for him because once again, when he gets mad, then I'll get mad with him. But he won't get mad because he knows what he did.
Yeah, but that's not the issue about him getting mad. The issue is how the Celtics.
And one more thing,
this situation. That's how I'm looking at it.
So let me ask you something. Why has he not gone to the players' union to appeal this?
He's not a player.
No, he has a union. He's part of the NBA union. He can go to them and he can say, "This is wrong. What's going on? Fight for me."
You keep going back to that point. I'm not going to that point because that's not, the topic isn't. He knows he was dead wrong. We know. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Celtics, the way they're handling that situation with him.
Frank,
that's how I'm thinking about it.
Frank, when you own a corporation that can be sued for so much money,
I get all that.
No, you honestly don't care because guess what? I'm not protecting a coach and giving up $200-300 million because of your interactions. And that's business. That's business.
I'll let you sit on that point. Rodney Perry, what's your point you wanted to add? Go ahead.
I might mention the fact that we're in 2022. This all harkens back again to the turn of the century, 1920. This is all the same stuff. Look, if you're a black man in America, you do yourself a disservice when messing with these white women. I don't care what station it is.
Why do you think she's white? You keep saying that. She's probably not white. You don't know.
Well, you know why I know it's a white woman? I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Because it's a case. Two black people never make the news, Frank. If this is not a white woman, I will stand completely down. I would apologize to America on this show anytime, anywhere in place. I promise you, this is a white woman. The reason they didn't mention her name is because she's a white woman. Exactly. Right? Every time in history, this is not new. This is historic. It has historic precedence. Every time a black woman gets accused of whether it's the sit-ins in the 50s, 40s, and 50s, or in the 20s when they burned down Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's all the same. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Boston, Massachusetts. Maybe the most racist city in America. The only black men that can bone white girls, a New Edition. I bet money this is a white woman, and they're protecting her, and they're not gonna stop protecting her no time soon. Udoka is probably in love with white women, and we don't know about. Mike Sean is making some serious points. I mean, this dude has done something that they're protecting the woman. They're protecting her. You all made some great points, though. I'm listening. I would love to hear what Duke got to say. I'm going to go on mute.
He did. He made some great points. Again, I'm not disputing what Mike said at all. My point is the way the Celtics are handling this towards black men. But that's my point. Let me let Duke
But the reason they handle like that because she white, right?
Possibly. Let Duke get to say his speech. What's up, Duke? How you
doing? First of all, hello, brothers. What up? You guys know I have some NBA attachment, from agents to officials and the whole nine. Rodney Perry hit a grand slam. Talking with who I know made it perfectly clear the images of the sister that has been dragged in social media is not the person. It is a white woman married to an executive in the organization that they are protecting, and Brad Stevens, the coach, you saw water in his eyes.
Yep.
It hit home because what has happened is they are so irate from the power and the influence that this Nigerian black man has come in and established in this organization of this racist entity. They are protecting the woman. There will be no more shit about her. and they're gonna hold Ibaka and basically say, "Nigga, we got you. What you did was foul, which he should have just been fired and released." But to show you how much more they're gonna control him today in 2022 is we're gonna suspend you. We're gonna take some of your bag, and we're not gonna allow any other team to offer you a job until the season is over. So we're gonna spank you some more. They are so in disarray in the organization to where they're gonna do their best, but it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. It is a white executive wife that did what she did with him, and that's that. You just don't discipline one person to detrimental of the team and the policy and the rules of the team and not do the other one. It's two parties. You don't do it by yourself. Therefore, if it was a black woman, both of them would have been on center stage.
Yes.
If you notice the interview,
Yep.
they did a bullshit interview basically telling you what they've done and what they're going to do, and then fuck your questions. This is it. So don't ask us questions about the other person because we're not going to tell you. You're going to have
But
to do research to find it out.
Dugar, I believe
move forward,
one step further.
Hold on, Rodney. As we move forward, please no more profanity because I want to be able to use.
Okay, no, I understand that. My bad, Frank. My bad. But the selling point that you was selling, I understood it, but it wasn't the same as what happened to Phil Jackson, Eric Spoelstra, who married a cheerleader, all these other things. We are living in a time where just 5 years ago, things were different. Everything is full throttle in your face now, so you deal with situations differently. You can't compare those other situations to what has happened today. This is 2022, and in 2023 it's going to be different.
Well, that's what Mike said. I'm just mad that when you know that it's not that person, everybody got to be held accountable.
Yes.
You know it's this white executive lady in there, and this is one of the pictures they putting out there, right? Now
you stupid. You an idiot.
You know damn well that it's not a black sister, but they put out. I think I seen two different pictures. To be, all jokes, I seen two different pictures, and neither one was one. And for him to come on here, thank you, Dan, for that extra insight of how far. I just mentioned the totem pole. There's a totem pole of regulation. No matter now, my little conspiracy ass, my brain go to other questions. Like now, I go even further to the possibility of this thing being a setup from the gate. Because if I'm creeping, we've all had our creeps, and people who creep and know how to creep well, this may or may not have been brought to the light or caught, for lack of a better word, unless the possibility of the setup of the demise in the first place.
All right, let me just throw this out there. Before I throw it to Fig. Let me throw this out there. And I want to stay on this same topic. You got the way you handle one athlete, it needs to be uniform across the board. Because Brett Favre right now, he is sitting home and he should be arrested. The other news is that, he's sitting up there right now while a couple other people have pleaded out. He hasn't even been arrested. He hasn't been formally charged.
I think that's apples and oranges, but we can talk about
I was trying to make my point. My point I'm trying to make is you're right. It's one is completely different than the other because one committed a real crime. The other person did not commit a real crime. My thing is, if we're going to treat everybody this one way, let's treat them all uniform.
Have y'all not been living in America the last 50 years?
That's what I wanted to say, Rodney. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, we are. I'm not saying we haven't. I'm just saying that's the way it is.
People don't treat black people equally.
Ain't not equal in this country. You want to get last word on this so we can move on?
Well, here's the thing. It goes back now. Before Dugar said what he said, which makes a lot of sense to me. What doesn't what I said previously makes more sense now that that this is a public hanging?
First of all,
hold up! How can we? No, Mike.
Have you ever been hung? Go ahead.
Come on, man. Stop doing that.
Go ahead.
It's not fair, Mike.
It's like a public hanging. And what I said was, I'm going to do this and make an example of you so that nobody else will ever do this again. That's exactly what this is. That's the only reason that they put what he did out on Front Street, because again, there's been other people who have fraternized or had relationships with their co-workers, whether they were above them or below them in rank or in their position in the organization. And if there was any punishment whatsoever, it was done behind closed doors. So because they put this out in front and put this man personal business on the street, like Dugar said, they're making an example of Ime Udoka, and this is a public hanging to make sure that nobody else will ever do this again.
No, great point.
Can I just say this one thing? This is why.
Can I ask you a question before you say your statement? Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, ask me a question.
The question I want to ask you is about the way First Take was handling it and the way what Fig is alluding to and everything else about Ime Udoka leads me to ask you this question. Do you think that the women who are involved and the woman who is involved, do you think that that should be addressed and or was it overlooked? Because when Malika Andrews called in, she felt one way about what was being said by Stephen A. And some people are believing, and some people, even on social media, they're thinking that means a lot too. What's your take on that? And then you can say your statement you want to say. Go ahead.
Okay. It's being handled a certain way, once again, because of the money and because the woman is white. That's why it's being handled this way. If it was a black woman, like Dugar said, I'll repeat what her name would be all out in the streets right now. And we know her, we know where she lived, what college she went to, we would know her profession, we would know everything. Now, Fig, you know I love you. But this is when we do this public lynching and hanging and using those terms. And this is not to Fig, this is the people who use those terms. Lynchings are it hurts my heart because people were burnt to death. He's still getting paid. People went, they sold tickets for hangings. They passed out flyers for hangings. They gave out souvenirs for hangings. That's why I don't like when I compare that to this, because this man is not in that situation. He put himself in that situation. If you knock off an executive's wife, what you think is going to happen? If I bang out a promoter who books comedy shows throughout the country and I knock down his wife, guess what's going to happen? Either somebody going to come get me, but I know I'm not going to be on the show no more.
Yeah.
And I know he going to spread the word not to put him on the show no more. So you put yourself in that situation. So what I'm saying is, and the last point I'll make is, when did we ever think America was fair? And Rodney brought this. None of this is fair. Of course it's not fair. Of course it would have been handled differently if it would have been some white coach. Of course it would have been handled behind the scenes. But we know this deal when we get into this life. We know this deal.
Right.
So, but my thing is like, okay, you put yourself in this situation, and now you want me to defend you? You knew the rules.
Yeah, the privilege is ridiculous too. Friday Perry, your take.
You know, I'm reminded of Emmett Till, and this is where we part ways, Mike Sean. I agree with Fig 1,000%. He is absolutely being demonized, and where this is not the lynching of yesteryear, it is absolutely a public lynching. But here's the thing: as I listen to Dugar, I think the main issue that we're all not addressing is Ime Udoka may in fact be in love with this lady. I think the reason he's drawing such ire from the powers that be is he won't stop. He is continuing to deal with this lady, even though she's probably married, even though she's probably a substantial part in the organization, and it's embarrassing. That's why you make him, you find him, you put him away for a year, right? The only thing that makes sense is this guy must be in love with this girl. It is the classic thing we see in King Kong. with the big black gorilla and the little white woman.
Wow.
No, this is his story,
No,
guys.
that's
For real.
true.
No.
That's true.
No,
And it's the same thing they did to LeBron James on the cover of that Vanity Fair magazine. They did the same thing. Yo, boy, y'all don't see
He may in fact,
and
and we'll find out, he may in fact be in love with whoever this woman is. It may be him protecting her. He might have been like, you know what, give me what you give me. It may be him protecting her.
Could be. Great, excellent point, Rodney Perry, because at the end of the day, they told him several times to leave this woman alone and walk away. He did not. He chose to keep doing it. Go ahead. You guys.
That's exactly what I was going to lead to before all the other brothers had to chime in respectfully. He said that he accepts it.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to my I don't want to say his name, but talking to who I was talking to, he says consensually they both are into each other. And they weren't going to stop it, and they understood the repercussions of it. Therefore, he's going to bow down to the side, take the suspension, because he doesn't want to drag her through it any more than what it is. Because, hey, when emotions are high, logic is low. So our logic is all over the place, but their emotions are right here. And then you have to understand this, man. As men, when we don't commit to ourselves, we can't commit to anything else. And that makes us vulnerable to make the decisions that we make. This is all about a choice. You see people out here talking about how can you cheat on Nia Long? It's not about the outer shell. It's about the choice that we make as men and women of committing. And this is just not about sports. This is relationships, corporate, the whole thing. When we as men can't be honest with ourselves, with the investment in ourselves, who would want to invest in you when you don't invest in yourself? So you can't make the commitment. Why should we?
Excellent point. Excellent.
Hey,
point.
Frank, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. I just want to say one thing. I agree.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with anything you said. Honestly.
And
I don't disagree with Fig.
Chris Whitening.
hey, you know what? You know what's kind of funny about what Dugar said, which is kind of crazy, and this is something that I've been looking into for a while. When it comes to relationships and that dynamic, is that the only way you can protect yourself from falling in love with a woman is to make sure that you keep your distance, and you only can do it with your mind. You keep your distance and never make sure that you're in close proximity with that woman, because once your heart decides that it's falling in love with this individual, and that individual heart decides that it's falling in love with you, I don't care what your head tells you. There is no logic to it. Your head can't override your heart. So the best way to protect yourself against that is to make a conscious decision mentally that I'm not going to allow myself to be in that type of situation. I'm not going to allow myself in close proximity that something could possibly happen. And the best way to do that is to keep your distance, and you only can do that with your head.
And Frank,
right, so,
one more time. Fig gonna be shocked. I agree.
So before we leave today, we got the NFL weekend. We didn't do our picks or anything else. So I'm gonna just ask you this talent. I'm gonna start with you, man. Give me the game you're looking forward to. We talked Ime Udoka the whole show. I didn't even mean to intend to do that, but give me the game you're most looking forward to this weekend and what you expect. What's the outcome?
I'm most looking forward to the Tampa Bay play Green Bay. Because Aaron Rodgers is my Michael Jordan, and he rises up his play when he plays against the other greats. So I'm looking for these guys to put it on the line as far as quarterbacks go. And it should be the evening game, I believe. So that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and let me throw it out there real fast that me and you were right yesterday about the Browns, picking the Browns. Me and you,
you're right. You're right.
What game are you looking forward to? What's the game you're looking forward to, and who you see the outcome?
Hey, this is gonna blend right into what I said previously, man. And mentally, I'm disconnected from the Giants, but I've been a Giant fan since I don't know how long, and my heart still wants to be a Giants fan, except I'm not really happy with their politics. But I'm looking forward to the Giants Dallas Cowboy game, and that's going to be Monday Night Football. I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay, Rodney Perry, what game, which team you most looking forward to this weekend?
You're on mute, Rodney.
You're on mute, Rodney.
Oh, my bad, guys. Baltimore, New England. I think that's going to be a great game. I want to see the QB continue on his campaign to get his paper, and hopefully he puts, tons of points up on New England Patriots.
No. Like Sean, what team are you looking forward to watch, and what's the outcome you most expect?
It's funny. Fig took mine. I forgot Fig used to be a Giant fan, and then Rodney took mine because I want Lamar Jackson to get his contract. Okay, I'm gonna give you an interesting one for me: Cincinnati and the Jets, because this could be the end of the season for Cincinnati. But if the Jets win,
the end of the season.
Oh, this could be the end of the season if they lose. Not the end of the season, but this could put them in a bad situation.
Yeah.
This could put Joe Burrow in a bad situation. But if the Jets win, that means their culture has changed. That means that it wasn't a fluke, their comeback, and that means that the culture has literally changed, and we can be waiting for their starting quarterback to get back in the mix.
As a New England Patriots fan, I'm gonna say this: I think the Jets are gonna beat the Bengals this weekend. That's my hot pick. Dugar, what's your take, and who's your team? What game are you looking forward to?
My teams are the Raiders and the Saints, but I'm really interested in that 49er game because I want to see what that insurance policy that everybody was knocking about Jimmy G.
Yeah.
If that dude comes out there and throws for 300 plus yards and they blow out, now you got to rethink. All that you said, Jimmy G. It was a chess move of them keeping him. Trey Lance is not ready. He is not ready.
Well, he's not ready now that he hurt, but Jimmy G is not the answer.
We don't know. We don't know. You know what? Respectfully, we don't know because when that guy is healthy, they are a problem.
Yep.
Mike Sean, do you notice that talent conveniently wore Cleveland Brown colors today since they beat
Yeah, that hat. I can't stand y'all.
How they can follow you, bro?
You can follow me at clevelandbrowns.com. Y'all can follow me over to the MF&J. No, follow me on Instagram, Talent the Comedian. It's just comedy on Twitter and NY King Talent on Facebook. Follow your boy. A lot going on this month.
Fig.
At Comedian Fig, all social media platforms, baby. We do what we do. We love what we do on this show, man. Even when we debate, it's still all love.
And there it is, Rodney Perry.
You can find me at Ime Udoka, what a white girl's at.com.
Wow. Mike Sean.
Now I want my thing to be funny, but it's not funny. It's not funny. Follow me at Brittany Griner is still in a Russian prison,
Right.
and we are still we're
Right.
we're more worried about a head coach in
Wow.
Boston knocking off chicks. Brittany Griner is still in a Russian prison by herself.
Going on 220 days. Danny Dugar. Tell
You
everybody.
can follow me at Neil Long Kitty Cat is Trash.
I want mine back. I want mine
If
back.
I'm not available at that website.
Oh my God! Oh my
For
God!
the record, we love Neil Long.
We do know
We
we
just
love
some
Neil
funny
Long.
guys. And sorry, Miss Bernadette, she took it first. She said, "Just a joke."
Also,
No,
you can
Bernadette
also
believe
find
I
me at
smashed her with
Red
this
Fawcett.
fucking
Leave my name out of this.
No, that's the show. Human Real is with. The show's comes on every day at 1 o'clock. Rebroadcast at 7. It's going to be rebroadcast at 11. It's going to be on the Human Real channel at 4. Thank you all for watching. You guys have a safe and prosperous weekend. It'll be interesting to see the game and see what happens by Monday. Because as we all know, this story is still developing. But until then, we'll see y'all Monday. And thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for following the show. Thank y'all for commenting and everything.
Hey, Rodney, thank you for always having my back by sending me the link. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, I tried, man, but mine kept coming back. I don't know what happened.
Hey,
I don't have your.
You were sending it to nealongtrash.com.
Rodney succeeded. That's why he has the brim, and the lighting is amazing.
It is.
Hey, Daniel, I don't have your number. I don't have your number. That's what.
You don't have a number?